G'day guys and welcome back to APAC South. I am here, we've had a change of the guard and I'm here with just Raven. Raven, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Dev. Thanks. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you. We have another 2 games to go tonight. Get back on the mic. You don't get out of this so easily, Rob. Sit down. Well, let's just go without him, I guess. Giants and Elevate is up next, and this should be a fantastic game. Both teams with massive potential, and both teams that have struggled so far in APAC South. Rob, get in there. Tell me what you think.
Oh, look, I think that both of these teams have had a similar trajectory coming into this. I actually, you know what? I'm going to say the other way around. Giants have gone down, Elevate have gone slightly up, because to begin with, they both were delivered an L. And now, in the previous match day, they were able to pull it out 8-6 in overtimes. We'll talk about that in a little bit more. But on this roster, there's 2 players that obviously stick out, and that is Hysterics, Speakeasy. We know that they've been incredible, but one stat that I just went scrummaging around for is actually the other 3 players, Ysera, Jordan, and Luna Metal, are in the bottom 10, yes, the bottom 10 rated players in APAC South League so far. So, you know, it's not the Giants that we expected to come into this, in all honesty.
It's certainly been a tumultuous time for this Singaporean roster that had such a dominant run in APAC North in 2020, and they are going up against Elevate. These guys have been storming through O's, had a great OCN season so far, and with that roster change, they're looking a lot better than they were before, Raven.
They are. They've been looking in much better form. They seem to have really tightened up their team play. Fisher Guy seems to have added this extra level of leadership, IGL skills, and just steady hands. Now, Fisher Guy is someone that's been around in competitive Siege in ANZ for a very long time. In fact, you would probably call Fisher Guy one of the OGs of ANZ Pro League. So, really strong addition, and they have been on an upward trajectory. Now, they did have a rough loss against LFO in OCN, but outside of that, their form has honestly looked really good, especially in APAC South. They had a big win last week. So I think they're looking to take out the Giants this week.
So overall, it feels like Giants should have this in the bag, but we don't have as much confidence in them as we used to with their performance so far. And Elevate, they're a bit of an unknown in that regard. So let's see where we're going to be playing this match today. Going through the map video for this best of 1, Clubhouse has made it to the chopping block. Raven, I know that you've got some thoughts here, so lay it on me.
Yeah, look, it's actually a map that is played very rarely by the Giants. We don't have a whole lot to go on for them, and the only stat that I actually have here was an L, and it was against Xavier. You know, Xavier are a very good Clubhouse team, so fair enough. But on the other hand, it's actually a strong map for Elevate, at least in terms of the Oceanic region. They've played it quite a lot, and they've had some really big results on it. Most notably, they beat the Knights only a couple of weeks ago on this map, 7-5. So based on that, I mean, you would think that favors Elevate. On the other hand, though, it does also mean there's not much to prep on for Giants on Clubhouse.
I'd say that Elevate overall have won the veto system here. You know, coming up with Clubhouse, a map that they're confident in. I think that that's definitely going to set them up. But I still think as well, Coastline and Chalet would have been. I still would have lent a little bit into Elevate for this. I know that they've got some pretty big gunners on that roster. God Legion especially can really pop off when given the freedom to. So the fact that we go to Clubhouse, it kind of throws a spanner in the works, because a team that we don't really see play it all that much against a team like Elevate that is a veteran squad on, it does leave it wide open in terms of VOD reviews.
Sure, I think if you asked us at the start of the season, we'd be saying Giants or every day of the week, but totally. Elevate have something up and coming, and Giants are somewhat weakened, a little exposed, so let's get straight into it. It is Clubhouse where these teams clash today. Will Giants bounce back, or will Elevate cause another upset? Over to you guys, Xenox and Guts.
Brilliant hosting, Dev. I just want to say that you've been doing a stand-up job tonight. It's a shame that, of course, you're not in the games themselves, but hey, doing a really, really good job. We move on, though, of course. Guz, welcome. We are now on the right side of the desk. Fortunately, we were able to drag away, what were their names? I can't even remember. Manic something and Ravinsky. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm very keen for this matchup. We have 2 mid-table teams, would you believe it? Giants in the mid-table, Elevate in the mid-table. They're both on 2 points heading in to this very next matchup. Clubhouse will be the battleground. Let's see who can get the upper hand.
Man, I don't know about you guys, but your definition of mid-table is way off. Elevate second last at the moment. Giants are third last. That's one way to put it. And
I'm being kind. I'm being positive. I'm being positive, Xenox.
Well, the positive is that one of these two teams is going to walk away with at minimum 2 points, right? So there's a bit of a reward here if you can come away with a win. For Giants, of course, I guess come into this expecting them to do well. It was brought up, though, coming over to Clubhouse, that Elevate might feel more comfortable. Of course, as we know from a recent result, they did knock off the Knights on Clubhouse recently, and they've had some solid results. In saying that, though, they've been inconsistent throughout their last couple of weeks, as they usually have been throughout the last couple of months. So which Elevate are we going to get tonight begs to be the question. There's the Monty target ban, and Valk says goodbye once again, just like we saw earlier on Consulate.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a feels bad there for Luna Metal from the Giants. Loves to play Montang on almost any map, but Clubhouse is one of his staples. So I love that target ban there from Elevate. And that's very spicy. It'll be rounded out with a Jaeger ban. Some of the projectile denials taken off the board as well. And that should open things up nicely for the attack. It's not often we see projectile denial taken away on Clubhouse. And that's purely because a lot of the points of contention really do rely upon those operators. So expect to see the Mamai picked in almost every single round, because that will be critical in holding, again, those key locations.
Mirror gets through as well, so expecting to see a bit of that on certain sites. As second floor we go first up, CCTV and Cash, and as you mentioned, Wamai, of course, going to be very prevalent throughout this match. Pretty much required, really, from here to be on every single round. Nothing too surprising, though, from Elevate's attack thus far, from what we can actually see. So as we head into the first round, Elevate looking to get out of the bottom two. Giants looking to find, can you believe it, guys, their first regular season win. They still haven't found it here in Playday 3. Of course, last week it was an overtime win against Order, which kind of surprised a lot over on Oregon, that Order were able to push them that far. We'll see if Elevate can replicate that here on Clubhouse.
Yeah, and it's interesting you're putting the emphasis there on it being an overtime win. I'm sure plenty of people at home would be thinking, yeah, that's all right. I mean, it's still points on the board, right? But this is really the first time in the global R6 circuit that we've had this refined point system where you get less for an OT win, and it's going to come back to bite. These are short, snappy stages, particularly stage 1. It might only take a couple of overtime wins or losses at that, and you could find yourself shuffling down that order really, really quickly. The likes of Xavier, they're stepping up big time. They're a big rival of the Giants, and they are getting maximum points on their wins. Come late stage, that could cost them. So it's important that I think the Giants push really hard in this map and secure those 3 points, if that's what it's going to take to get that first position.
And another team, of course, Knights. They've won 2 regular wins, and now they've got an OT win as well. Luna tries that one, doesn't quite work out. That's going to be the mirror down. But every time we usually see this, I mean, it's usually dealt with quite comfortably anyway. Forces Luna back over to top red. Has the shield there anyway. So Elevate on the attack first, and they're going to start to open up this CCTV wall.
Of course, as we often see, the wall has been minced up by the defense. Shotguns being used to make it more difficult for the Maverick to pop the wall open. So far, it hasn't been opened successfully. As you can see, both sides. Work has been done, but as you just said, very, very messy. And I think Fisher is actually just going to give up completely. They do have a line of sight, I guess, with that mirror being popped. So if a player wants to play the cross late round, they can. But again, keep in mind, they won't actually be able to get in towards the site.
Yeah, and that's why you're seeing Worthy with the diffuser now just sort of rotating away from that angle. Really good point that you brought up there, that it is still a threat technically for Giants, something they do have to be mindful of in the late round if Elevate do want to put a player over there and watch that cross. Vast has just been eliminated, unfortunately, making that run across, and nice early kill for Hysterics, who really a player that I want to actually bring up here because we casted Hysterics last week, and well, finding opening kills was his specialty, guys, and he's done it again to kickstart us off here. As the second one falls, God Legend goes down. Digital also going to be wounded quite heavily, almost about half health, and this is not the best start for Elevate.
Oh, Ditch sees the shoulder of Hysterics, but it's Worthy from the pool table to actually collect that kill, so we could pinch there from the attack, but Jordan makes things a little bit more difficult finding that pick onto Didge. It's now Worthy and Fisho, left in the 2-on-4, and Luna gets aggressive on the main stairs to find that pick. Worthy does finish off his prey inside of Garage to get it to a 3-on-1 Xenox, but
Wow.
It's too little too late. Jordan with a nice little flick with the SMG will secure that round for the Giants, and it's a good start.
And this is the contrast between, say, regional leagues and APAC, especially looking at like OCN versus APAC, right? You don't tend to see those sort of rounds play out in that manner in OCN. Usually it's all on site. Usually it's like last 20, 30 seconds, messy, funnel in onto site. But all of these picks and all of these kills, especially from Giants, are way off site. Elevate just not even getting close to where they really wanted to be. Great opening round for Giants. They look methodical. They're clean. Elevate just a bit messy and a bit all over the place to start us off here on Clubhouse. Now we go down to basement, go down Church Arsenal. What I really want to see here is how much pressure are we going to see from Knights roaming around on that first floor? Are they going to go for a 2-3? Are they going to have 2 roamers up? Maybe they have 3 if they feel really confident.
Yeah, just rewinding to that point you just made about the regional league differences. If you look at the history of Elevate, you would go into this thinking that this is almost a guaranteed win, right? You look all the way back to Oceanic Nationals 2020, and they have a perfect record on this map. They've taken down Knights, Wildcard, Noble, Bliss, Order. Those names are not to be snuffed at the Nationals level. But as you said, the playstyle and just the experience at this sort of level in APAC South is a huge leap. It's a leaps and bounds ahead of the Oceanic Nationals program. And I guess so far the Giants are establishing that early dominance by getting that first round on the board, and they'll be looking to just snowball that momentum as much as possible.
The Echo pick here for Hysterics kind of tickles my fancy here, and I really want your thoughts on it, because we're used to seeing Hysterics finding these opening kills on a really, really common basis. But on that Echo, you just sense will he be a bit more reserved, or by having that Yokai drone, may actually be able to be in those aggressive positions. At the moment, as you can see, he's actually down in basement. So I'm not sure if we're going to see an aggressive Hysterics this round.
Yeah, it's funny, right? We're actually seeing Luna potentially setting up for an early spawn peak there, which is unlike his play style. But Echo's actually not in a bad place. Sure, you can see the Yokai drones now. They don't cloak when they go on the ceiling, but recent buffs have made it a lot more maneuverable. You can send it up on the wall, back down, a lot quicker than you used to be able to in the past. So expect late round Hysterics to get quite aggressive with not only his utility, but he'll be able to play behind that shield, deep inside Arsenal, etc. And that's going to be pretty difficult for Elevate to deal with if they're not efficient.
Not exactly pressure being applied on this first floor from Giants. They're more than happy to just sit down Church Arsenal and wait for Elevate to position in on that first floor. Drone's going down. And they start to open up his hatches. Luna, though, this is aggressive, trying to just spot an odd head or so from Fisher Guy. Fisher Guy, though, very careful with his positioning. And it's Jordan who's going to get fragged out first. So good start for Elevate. God Legion getting the opening pick. They've got an advantage on a site where having the 5-on-4 advantage as well is going to be really beneficial.
That's exactly right. It will likely come down to a hatch drop or maybe a push down main through Moto. You need the manpower to execute those trades and get the dub. So really liking the positions established here from Elevate as Didge follows up onto a second. Salma will be used next to the hatch in order to try and get it open, or at least create lines of sight deeper in towards Arsenal. And so far I'm really liking what I'm seeing here from Elevate. They're not giving away picks, they're playing quite conservative, and they're not allowing the Giants to dictate the pace of the round like they did previously.
50 seconds left in the round. Smoke still available, though, for Speakeasy and Giants. 3 canisters up, although cast the curse. Speakeasy immediately eliminated by Vast. It's only Hysterics who really going to be able to make a big play from here. Luna as well, but just roaming around in Church at the moment. Hysterics did get at least one, has those Yokai drones available, playing through dirt. And watching over towards blue now with 25 seconds left. Elevate still have got to be careful. They can mess this up. Ooh. It's pretty easy to do so. But with God Legend getting that pick onto Luna, surely now in a 4 versus 1, they're not going to be able to lose this. Hysterics, cheeky Yokai drone. He can actually deny the plant from that position. Stops it for now, but he knows that there's more members of Elevate pushing in. They know his position in dirt. And Elevate will close out the second round.
Really nice response there from Elevate. A pretty traditional execute there on the attack. They were methodical and slow. They got the hatches open that were required and created the vertical angles on the kitchen floor down into Arsenal. It felt as if, even though we didn't quite see it, that the Giants were giving away some pretty free picks there. It didn't feel like any of those plays were significantly impactful for the defense. They weren't traded either. So maybe to some extent Elevate got quote-unquote lucky by getting those picks, but again, hey, you got to win your shots and you got to apply the pressure towards site, which they did, so you can't fault them on that. And then when it got a little bit hairy towards the end there with Hysterics, who we highlighted as maybe being a big impact player in that round, they just made the call, he's in dirt, let's just send it, trade it out. They had the manpower and they pulled it off. So I really like that response there from Elevate as we head into round number 3.
It's going to be another site where the Mirror's going to have a bit of play, at least from the side of Giants, as we've seen now. We saw it before, used on CCTV wall. See how Luna's going to want to play this one as well now for Gym Bedroom. Third round, it's 1-1. Can't really take too much away from the first 2 rounds other than the performance from Elevate really looked the goods. Luna just going to pop one, looking into Con from Logistics.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
I'm interested to see just how Elevate will go about clearing these mirror windows. It's not often you will see mirror in play in this map these days, typically either banned out or teams really just don't like touching it because they haven't got a whole lot of match field for it. We did see Luna place one inside of bathroom. I didn't quite catch where the second one was placed. So I don't know if, I think it was actually, yeah, so it was placed inside of Logistics, watching over towards Con. That one will be a little bit trickier to clear. If there is, of course, a player on it, you can use the hatch to dump utility. The second one, however, inside of bathroom can actually be cleared from below. Not many people actually know that, nor do they play into that, but that floor in bathroom is destructible, and Elevate do have the operators to clear that from below if they so wish later into the round.
Pretty standard approach right now from Giants, obviously minus kind of the mirror because we're not used to seeing really mirror played. Usually it's banned out, so that will more than anything play into the round later. Not so much these first moments. One in top red, one in cash, usually the play. Although Giants looking to be a bit more defensive with this approach. I'm pretty sure it was Jordan that was top red. Yeah, now he's already pushed into cash, so they're only going to play one theoretically from this position now. The Gemini actually just ran into, cleared out top red. So Jordan under already quite a bit of pressure.
Oh, Jordan manages to get out. No one from Elevate holding from the Con window. The Giants were aware, a little bit scared, if you would, that a player would be holding that cross, but no one from Elevate positioned there instead. 4 stacking, even 5 stacking now inside of CCTV. Vast will retreat out over towards the balcony and now establish that cross, but of course keeping in mind Luna is looming in that position behind the black mirror window. So someone, I think, will need to try and go to the hatchet and clear that out. Approaching that from head on will be very, very dangerous.
But there's only a minute left in the round. And then also you've got the mirror window facing over towards the jacuzzi wall, although it doesn't look like Elevate's really going to play from that position anyway, so that's already kind of a non-factor. But how much time do they really have to get up here, clear this mirror, then by the time they push through? I mean, they've got to really hurry this up. They're trying to clear it now. 30 seconds left, and then Luna's actually going to be knocked and then finished by Fisher Guy. This helps immensely. Now they can just push into Logistics as well. Plenty of time, 25 seconds left. They find a second kill. This is playing out perfect. They are getting really a 2-for-1 deal here. Trying to clear mirror window, but finding kills. Those are some nice things to happen for your team. Speakeasy now over towards 90, and there's only 10 seconds left. He's actually got 2 maybe pinched over towards Logistics, but it's worth it. He finds the frags. Elevator just winning their one. This is the big one. His gonna stop the diffuser. 3 seconds left. He's gonna find a second one. He's got 3 for the round. Vast needs to hit the pit. Oh, he couldn't get it. Vast couldn't land the shot. What a round save from Hysterics.
Hysterics. Absolutely insane. We saw him with a minute to go playing inside of Secret. He was waiting such a long time to execute that flank, and he picked the perfect window. Elevate felt comfortable. They had control. They were getting the plant down, but no one was holding the flank. They either didn't have a drone or no one was watching it. They didn't have flank watch available either because they didn't bring a Nomad. So that was very unfortunate there for Elevate, caught off guard, but incredibly well played there by Hysterics, capitalized on their mistakes, hit a cheeky drop shot as well, just to rub some salt into the wounds. And that will be a very frustrating round for Elevate to try and forget about.
Especially when you consider their opponent. I mean,
Attackers need to locate and defuse
I think we
as
said
many
it last
bombs
week.
as
Giants is a team that you cannot throw rounds away. You don't get second chances. They will punish you. They win that round, and then they sit back and say, you know, we can improve. We can do better. Let's now go down Church Arsenal. Let's win this one. Let's make it 3-1. And suddenly, Elevator at an arm's length. When in reality, they, in all retrospect, should have been up now 2-1 off to a good start here on Clubhouse. Albeit though on the attack, which, you know, usually can do all right. I think 3-3 at the half would be par and you'd be happy for Elevate, but Giants are already up to 2 now, and
10 seconds
they're not
left.
going to make the same mistakes twice. They're not going to allow Elevate to get those easy picks to begin the round.
5 seconds left before
And it's usually Hysterics who gets those opening frags, but hey, sometimes the closing frags work out even
Attackers
better.
must locate and defuse a bomb.
Yeah, I think you framed it perfectly. You cannot afford to make mistakes against the Giants, and when they make mistakes, you need to capitalize. I guess we saw that in the last round where the Giants threw away some picks and Elevate cleanly converted the round, but I believe those opportunities will probably be few and far between in this matchup. The Giants back downstairs, they'll be looking to tidy that up. That said, they are playing a little bit aggressive over towards main stairs. You have Yazira probing, I think Jordan as well inside of Secret. So maybe some 50-50 gunfights could ensue here that don't fall into their favor, but it looks like they're playing a little bit more conservative. Jordan's already fallen back, and Yazira's in a position to fall back as well. So I don't expect anything too crazy here.
They were playing conservative last time, and it didn't work. You have to sort of then beg the question, should they actually have a bit more aggression? I mean, maybe you could go for a late flank at the, you know, the last 30, 40 seconds and try and pinch Elevate from behind without actually committing too hard to a heavy roam above. But we're not really seeing anything from Giants in way of actually trying to slow down Elevate or even just pressure them on that first floor. They're all just sitting on site and waiting for that inevitable push.
All feeling pretty same here for Elevate. Digital with the skeleton key in hand will start working up the floor. Vast as well could be seen sledgehammering the floor as well near kitchen hallway. Now just seeing drones, making sure no one from the Giants will flank above, but I don't think that's going to be a serious risk as the nades now fly out. They'll try and clear some of the utility placed below, such as Yazira's Banshees, for example. Might even be able to catch one of the Yokai drones as well if the splash damage is favourable. Now it's up to Worthy with those Selmas to try and get this hatch open.
I will say this though, there's only a minute left in the round, which is not a lot of time for a side that Giants haven't really tried to. That nade actually I think just stopped the Selma. They haven't really tried to deter that much.
Ooh, that
stopped it again. Both of them got stopped.
No, I think the first one went off, the second one got stopped, so it's not enough. Of course, you need 2 Summers on that hatch to get it popped, and Worthy doesn't have any left in hand now, so Fisho will need to try and come and do some more damage onto that hatch, which he will, but this is very, very dangerous. Fortunately for him, Luna's not close enough to hit a C4, doesn't want to, and now with 30 seconds left on the board, Elevate is going to go for a split push, send a couple towards dirt, and maybe drop a couple down the hatch.
Yeah, it's going to be Fisher Guy and God Legend now heading down towards dirt. Speakeasy going to be the one who's going to get pressured here. Shotgun in hand, up close though, but does not win that exchange. Was in an unfair advantage 2-on-1's not nice, but regardless, they're going to be able to push through now onto site. God Legion just snapping and getting that headshot onto Jordan. Yazera answers back. 3 versus 2 in favor of Giants. And this round is definitely falling their way, although Hysterics in a 1 clutch situation.
Operators, you
And
have run out of
in the
time.
end, Elevate just run out of time.
Really good work from the Giants. They're playing into the echo. I think, although we didn't see it, I could hear the Yokai bursts heading out. We could also sort of see it a little bit to the edges of the screen. Hysterics was using that intel and the disruption to stop Elevate from really sending it as deep as they would have liked. It felt like the Giants sat back quite reserved, just feeded off that intel, peaked when required. And sure, it was a little bit dicey towards the end. Maybe if the round had an additional 5 or 10 seconds, it probably could have flipped towards Elevate, but they played into that timer perfectly. There's only 3 minutes that you need to hold on for, and they managed to do it quite well.
Attackers need to locate.
It's like a game of inches right now for Elevate, and they're just always on the wrong side of it. That's 2 rounds now that have sort of gone begging. The one before it, though, was obviously a lot closer than the one we just saw go by, but unfortunately for Elevate, you give Giants these chances and they're just going to punish you extensively. They now go back over to cache and CCTV. You've got a good opportunity to really put this margin out to 4-1, and that is just daunting. I mean, the scoreboard pressure that then applies onto Elevate is quite significant. And I think, you know, the gut feeling for me here is that Giants will then switch to the attackers and kind of have their way with this anyway.
Ooh, yeah. Could be a fair call. I think if the Giants gain enough confidence and momentum in this first half, that is a very real possibility. And there is that risk that they run away with this series. Again, reflecting on what we were sort of talking about earlier, the Giants, they need full points. It's critical for their stage result. They're not going to settle for anything less. You could tell when they got that overtime win last time, they weren't overly thrilled. So they're going to do everything within their power to just drive this one home, keep applying pressure to Elevate, and try to just maximize this half as much as possible.
Just kind of feels like a must-win round for Elevate. Just get back into things, slow down the Giants bandwagon a bit. The train has left the station, and they have left without Elevate, that is for sure. 3 very quick rounds have just gone by. I'm going to play bottom of garage. Zero top red. A lot of pressure over towards the jacuzzi wall side of things from Giants, which I do find a little bit interesting because we don't tend to see at least the OCN teams guys push in from the west side.
Yeah, I would assume they'll fall off pretty quickly. The one thing that's standing out to me is the fact that Fisher Guy, once again, not really fully committing to opening up the CC wall. A couple of angles were generated, and maybe they were actually used to clear any mid gems on the wall, because it seems like the ace summers will be utilized, and Worthy gets a pick off the back of that. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Clearly, ace is all you need for that wall, as Fast picks up another. So that pressure has flipped. It's on the Giants now. Jordan, Luna, Zira need to hold on. They're in good positions, but Elevate, with that man advantage once again, should be able to trade it out and push through any plant denial that comes their way.
Yeah, 2-man advantage now as well. And as you said, should be able to now close out this round, but things can happen very quickly. If Giants can find the next pick, 3v4 to close out the round's not impossible. The only thing I'd say here for Giants is that they're all around cash and top red. There's not really much diversity in terms of their positions here. This should make things a bit easier for Elevate to be able to sort of transfer from one kill to a second. Worthy's going to get this plant, holding the cross as well. And this should be the round. Jordan under way too much pressure. Vast is able to also just roam from first floor, go up top red, and just make it even harder for Giants. So 3-2, and Elevate do bite back, guys, as I sort of framed this round for them. They needed to do, and they do, in fact, do the do.
The do-do. Well, this matchup is shaping up to be quite a matchup, I must say. It's quite close so far. I guess we painted the picture maybe that if the last round went the other way, the Giants could run away with it, but they're just holding on. It feels like the Giants still have the power to push them down this cliff, but Elevate, they're just hanging on.
I mean, I get you. I feel you, but I get this really big feeling that Elevate are more than just holding on. Like, they're in this game. There's rounds that they should have won, right? In fact, as we go to Gym Bedroom, that is a round they should have probably won the last time we were here. So even if you just flip that one result, it would be 3-2 now to Elevate, right? Going into the final round of the half, a chance to go up 4-2 to close that out. Like, that's sort of the story and the way that could have been flipped. But there's ifs and buts and couldas and shouldas. And at the end of the day, Giants are up 3-2. They won last time out on Gym Bedroom, despite not playing it perfectly. And they now get another opportunity to do it, but do it better and do it again and make sure Elevate don't even get into a position where they're getting that plant down and that's denied by Hysterics.
Attackers have discovered the location.
They are bringing the same
bomb.
operator
10
lineup,
seconds to
Elevate.
go.
No dedicated flank watch in the sense of a Gridlock or a Nomad. So I would hope that they've learnt their lesson off the back of the last round. We'll have a drone set up and actively
Attackers'
watched
objective is to
on this
defuse the bomb.
occasion. Shouldn't be too difficult for Elevate to establish that. On the flip side, the Giants, similar defensive setup. Same mirror windows deployed. And I mean, I don't know, is there a reason for them? Should they change things up? Because as you said, maybe they only won that round off the back of a single play that shouldn't have really happened.
Well, they won. Well, Elevate lost the round after being up 5-3 in the round, and it, you know, as you mentioned, should they have won it, lost it. But the big thing for me was that they gave away, or Giants gave away, those two players over in logistics far too easily. And that's the sort of thing where you sit back and you have to question, guys, is that going to happen again? Like, realistically, as soon as that, logistics hatch opens up, I would have to imagine that Giants are not going to be standing in the same positions. They're going to alter that, and if they alter that, they're probably going to win the round.
Jordan will likely be the source of the first engagement in round number 6. He's playing inside of Cash. And once again, Elevate will open up the CC wall, take control of Garage Rafters, and look to take this room. But Jordan, once again, allowed to rotate out. We saw this last time. No one from Elevate on the con balcony near the vents window watching that.
Well, the difference is last time out, they Gemini'd top red, and then they also smoked. So they put a lot of pressure. They fired a few, fancy shots into Cash. Jordan was sort of not pushed out, but he definitely left the area, vacated it early, understanding, right, Elevator here, they're putting a bit of pressure on. This time out, he just elected to just leave, like immediately dipped, despite Elevate not even putting any pressure on Cash. And honestly, I don't even blame him. At this point, Elevate, they understand how this sort of plays out. Jordan's going to be able to get away as soon as Elevate put a bit of pressure on. So this works out well. What Jordan does do now is he might actually go over to logistics, keep an eye on the hatch, and look for someone who's going to peek that hatch. So they've got an extra man over there.
I really like that from God Legion. He went below and cleared that mirror window.
What?
That's
Luna
what
goes
Jordan
down again?
Jordan was relying on falling back to that mirror window to hold that side of the map. But with that taken care of, it should open up now for Elevate. That said, the res did fall off, or did get placed indeed. And I mean, look at these picks. I don't know where the Giants are finding these from. Elevate were positioned so nicely in this round, but the Giants have just completely denied them any opportunity.
Did it drop down logistics hatch?
I think so.
Well, there's a dead body down there, so that answers my question. 28 seconds left and 5 versus 2, and I'm not too surprised by the way that this has played out, though. Mentioned that Giants just had to sort of tweak a few things and that they should have this round quite a bit easier, and it has played out this way. I was surprised to see Luna get downed, but got back up. Can't keep him down. Flawless round. And the Giants, they take out this first half.
I'd love to be able to pinpoint just exactly where that went wrong. I felt like once God Legion went below and cleared that mirror, really should have opened up the round, but I guess not.
I honestly believe, guys, that they peaked hatch and Giants just hit their shots this time.
Can come down to that. I mean, you can have the best strategies in the world, but if you're not winning your ones, that strategy's not really going to do a whole lot. But hey, we can move on from that. So will the teams as we head into the second half. Elevate will kick things off downstairs, and they're bringing Castle. They're 6-picking onto it. Vigil as well on the board. Mute to facilitate a roam, I would imagine. So we might see our first aggressive downstairs hold here from the defense.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
We've only had Clubhouse twice so far for this season of APAC South. 60% defensive win rate. So when you look at those statistics, a 4-2 half for Giants on the defense is probably about right. That would have been expected. For Elevate, I think then that means that they shouldn't be too down in the dumps. Their mental shouldn't be too far gone. They should be like, right, we got 2 wins. In all honesty, they should have had 3. They didn't quite get 3. That's all right. Move on. Now you got to defend here against Giants. And I look, do we even call this an SSG roam anymore? I mean, I think Dev was the one who said they don't even play it.
5 seconds to insertion.
You got it. It's I don't know if you got it in your casting handbook that we gave to you when you started casting Siege, but if anyone roams on Clubhouse, you just automatically call it the SSG roam. No questions asked. So I hope that answers your question.
We'll see how it plays out, and this is kind of I guess a stark contrast, guys, to what we saw from Giants, who were more than happy to just sort of turtle on site, play very defensive, very conservative. Although I don't actually know how much Elevate's really going to commit to this top floor. The answer there is, I guess, for Fisher Guy and Bast over at top red, they are going to commit something. They are going to put pressure. You got God Legion roaming us around, so it's like a 3-2 split from Elevate. That's quite extensive. That's quite aggressive.
The Giants, though, they are playing into it. Yazura on the CC wall. Summers deployed on Jacuzzi. God Legion, will he go for the pick? Yes, he will. He finally finds the head, connects the shot. That's Luna taken off the board. No more Summers in play for the rest of the round.
Massive.
Yeah, pretty big.
Pretty big. There's a second one. That's even better. Speakeasy eliminated by God Legion. A great start to the round for Elevate, and it's their aggressiveness that is rewarding them right now. Rather than Giants playing into their hands, it's Elevate that are trying to make something happen, so you've got to give them credit where it's deserved. And by continuing to play like this, even into the latter stages of this round, it's risky, because now things can turn around. It's a 2 versus 3, and suddenly that basement church arsenal isn't going to have many players on that side. Jordan and Hysterics can make something of this round. With a minute 20 left, they can sort of alter things, especially if they get God Legion out of this map. It's a 2 versus 2 with a minute left.
Attackers recover the
Problem really for the Giants is that they didn't have the kit, so they weren't connected, but Jordan does pick it up. He can make his way through Strip Hallway, and Hysterics has opened up the site. If he can make his way maybe over towards the bar hatch, if it's been opened, he could drop. And now it's Digital left in the 1 versus 2.
He's got the goo mines out. I didn't even realize that Fisher guy hadn't gone back down. That's my bad. They had 2 up still. It was only Digital remaining. He always seems to find himself in these positions. Jordan's going to get the plant down. It was a 5-3 start for Elevate. They're about to be down 5-3. Well, 5-2. Would have been cool if they were down 5-3, but didn't quite play out that way. Great turnaround from Giants. And it's a big reason why you cannot let anything slip against this team.
That's got to be another incredibly frustrating round for Elevate. The early to mid round was honestly really, really impressive. I love the fact that they had the confidence to execute the roam. They had the man advantage off the back of those opening trades, and things were looking on the up. But then Hysterics just walks into the site, says, "Hey boys, please peek me. I want to find a couple of kills." He does find those kills, and then of course, as you mentioned, Digital left in what feels like his 100th clutch already here in APAC South, and unfortunately, no fault of his own, he was unable to win that round.
They got the first 2 picks and they should have backed off. They should have gone, honestly, at that point, I don't care what your roam is, just send all 5 down to basement and see what happens from there. Make it a 3v5. Giants have to just get kind of lucky when they drop down, right, and find a few picks on their entrance, but you're going to have the numbers that you should be able to trade out on site. But by lingering around and trying to find more picks, you open yourself up to that risk that you are going to lose those ones, and they did. Then it becomes a 3v4, and then all of a sudden it just tumbled from there for Elevate, and they're down 5-2. How big does one round play a part on the scoreboard, Guz, though? A 3-4 is so vastly different to a 5-2.
10 seconds to go.
A 5 on the scoreboard with the new scoring system really feels like a dangerous number, because if you're in the Elevate camp, your confidence can take a little bit of a hit thinking that, ooh, if Giants win one more round, well, we can't get max points. So we're in a little bit of trouble. Sure, we can get it to OT, but it's really not the outcome we would have liked. The pressure really starts to mount now, if it hasn't already, to prevent the match from going to overtime in the first place. Elevate, I'm sure if they can play as confidently as they did in that last round and just tidy things up a bit, they should be able to get these rounds on the board. They're not playing terrible Siege, and the Giants, sure, they're playing great themselves, but they're capitalizing a lot on the mistakes being made by their opponent.
No, you're not. And I'm reiterating that. They're not playing terrible Siege, and the way that they actually played that last round, you'd like to see that, especially going up against a team like Giants. You wouldn't, like, honestly, you wouldn't blame a team for just sort of going into their shells a little bit, playing a bit conservative, playing defensive, almost like the way the Giants did, to be honest. And for Elevate to come out and play that aggressive style and make it work was good to see, but they probably played that hand a little bit too much. 5-2 now. That's, in my book, I've sort of like noted down 2 rounds that Elevate should have won, right? So that's a big flip. They should have been up 4-3. Didn't happen that way, and there is no should-haves when the results are there on the scoreboard, and Giants are running away with this, and very well could make it match point if they win this round, which puts them closer to their first regular win of the season.
Good time management early here from the Giants opening CC wall. Keep in mind, though, they won't have a great angle into Vast playing Rafters because the wall is reinforced and, in fact, electrified. And this is a setup that we've seen Elevate run for quite some time. Nothing new, and if the Giants have VODed their opponent, they should know this is the case. Question will be, how do they respond? Do they respond? Because Vast, he is in a very cheeky position. He could impact the barricade, run out, and maybe find a pick.
Curious to see, right? So Giants are going to play through Con, which we don't tend to see from the OCN teams, at least not on a regular basis. So Elevate are going to have to sort of watch both angles here, as Hysterics is going to start to try and open up this Con wall. I believe it's electrified, so they were prepared for this, so that's credit to Elevate. They've done their homework. It's not going to make this easy. 50 seconds left, though, means that there is still a lot of time on the board here for Giants. They've got good position on site. They've already got, you know, a hole opened up on that CC wall. Zero now trying to open up this Con wall. But no picks. No one's got an advantage yet with 34 seconds left.
Pretty risky there from Jordan crossing the doorway, but he needs to open up the wall with the skeleton team. This is where the round will start to get very, very interesting. Picks should issue very quickly, but it's a 5-on-5, Xenox. This could be very, very hairy as Vast gets the first.
I think Jordan was just stunned for a second. He found no one at all through those sort of peak shots. 2v2. This is, well, 2v2, 2v4, but this round is going to go over so quick that it might be a 2v2. Never mind, Barnes gets Hysterics. That's a big player to take off the board. God Legion will follow it up, and Elevate will win the round. 5-3.
God Legion giving Giants a taste of their own medicine there on the late flank, but let's be honest, by that point, the round was really over. Good work there on side by Elevate to hunker down. And again, like I said earlier, these rounds are critical. They don't want to let the Giants escape from their grasp and earn that match point, because that does diminish their returns if they do manage to flip the result. That's important. They just continue to maintain this form. And like I said, Elevate, they are playing some pretty damn good Siege.
Yeah, and the good news for them, right, is that they're in these rounds. These rounds that they've lost, they've been in the majority of them. At least a good 60-70% of those rounds of those 5. Elevate have been in a position where they can probably win the round. And what that says to me then is, if you look at that scoreline as it was, which was 5-2, it's probably not a true scoreline. Someone comes into the stream and they start watching, they see 5-2 Giants and they're thinking, all right, this is going as according to plan. But Elevate have been in these rounds. This has been back and forth. We're seeing a lot of risk from Elevate, but for very little reward, even though they should have had more reward for the risk we're seeing from them. 5-3 though, they do get rewarded in that last round, so they at least can just claw it back. Still no match point either for Giants. It does give Elevate a bit of breathing room, but if they had to win the last round, guys, they kind of need to continue that effort, at least here, at least towards 5-4, and then from there maybe you can drop one before then getting 2 more to send it to OT. So see how this plays out. But Elevate, to be fair, have been in positions like this in matches, both OCN and APAC, and they've been able to come back.
A quick look at the stats. Hysterics, first player in the lobby to reach double digits, so another good performance from him. Speak Easy, usually his buddy in crime, trailing a little bit, going 3-3-6. A bit of a tough outing for him. On the flip side, Vast as well, stepping up massively. It's felt like in the last couple of weeks, he has really been putting in some great performances on the scoreboard. Meanwhile, though, in this round... Whoa. Jacuzzi wall has been opened. Digital will fall back in towards Bath, who may be unable to reinforce the wall, so that's a little bit unlucky. And the Giants will be able to apply some pressure from outside of the building.
Perimeter defense up.
One thing that hasn't really happened so far in this matchup is sort of early frags. So the earliest frags are usually around the 1.5 minute mark remaining in the round, so that's like the next 25 seconds or so. We're not seeing anything too crazy like the 2-minute mark, which at times we've seen actually quite frequently in other matches. I think that's also a testament to the fact that Giants usually play that more structured approach. They're definitely slower in their approach. They're not going to do anything too crazy on their attack, and as we saw on their defense, they didn't do anything too crazy there either. So it's usually up to Elevate. If they want to sort of dictate things, they kind of have the opportunity to do so, but trying to dictate the game and the tempo against Giants, well, as we saw in one of the earlier rounds, can really turn around pretty quickly and bite you in the behind.
And if you turn your attention to the top left of screen, one critical factor in this round is look how many drones Giants have. They still have 9 out of 10 drones. They can utilize those late, find where these Elevate players are exactly positioned, and play off that communication. I don't see a world in which Elevate can try and claw this back with so much information on the board. It's going to take some pretty big plays from the defense. That's big from Vast, but Hysterics gets worthy.
Easy, I've got you.
Zerica's just going to get picked up. Thought maybe that could be a moment for Elevate to try and swing and capitalize on that. God Legion, though, just too slow on the trigger. Jordan's going to take his head clean off. 5-3 advantage to Giants. And as you said, they still have so much information that they can play off here. All those drones still in play. Elevate down 2 players as well. So many avenues opened up onto site. This is looking like a Giants round, but even here, they're still playing it slow to the last 25 seconds. This is the difference between these two teams. Elevate were running around when they were on the attack, and Giants are more than happy to just wait to the last second, recoup themselves, get those pickups, get those revives, get that last second information on those drones. Digital, he has no idea where he should be aiming, and Hysterics will punish him, pushing up those stairs. This round is just falling by the wayside. Diffuser's down though. Vast is going to just sit inside of the smoke. He knows exactly where it should be. Misses the shot, misses the round, and Giants go to match point.
Oh, wow. Vast. Very, very cheeky there. The Giants running mad circles around the objective, trying to find exactly where he was playing so they could try and get that plant down safely, or at least secure the round with the frag. They do the ladder. They earn themselves match point. So, Xenox, they have at least 1 point, but we know the Giants, they want 3. 1 more round to go before they can secure all of those points for the standings.
Yeah, it's really, really important. 2 points is nice. We saw them pick up 2 points last week against Order. I mean, 3 points right now, as the standings stand, would put them into 3rd place, whereas 2 points would put them in a tied position with the game still to play. So it's also towards the pointy end of the season, right? Playday 6 and 7, that's when those 1 or 2 points here or there that you sort of leave behind by letting games go to OT may catch up to you. It could be the difference between 1st and 2nd or 4th and 5th. It is important. Also, I think just with the fact that on the win column for Giants, it's actually a 0 still if you go and look at the Liquipedia. That's not a good look. So they want to get one in the win column. That gives you 3 points. Yeah. Yes, a full win. Well, there's 0-1-0-1. So I didn't make the rules, guys, okay? I didn't make the column.
Fast doing some drone hunting here in this round. I believe he ran past one inside the toilet.
Attacker's objective is to defuse the
Which you can
bomb.
see. Hey, there we go. Thanks, Marshall. Just hiding there. Very difficult to spot. In fact, I think it might actually be near impossible to get the angle as a player down there. So a nice little pre-place there for the Giants. And as I said last round, their drone game was very, very strong. A lot of information to play off a late round, and that's exactly what you want at this level of play. The more information you have, the more likely you are to win your engagements. And then, of course, the more likely you are to win the round.
Kind of expect Giants to just win this one now. And the 7-3 scoreline probably isn't fair to Elevate, but it is what it is, right? You had your opportunities, you kind of let them slip a little bit. Nice shot from Worthy. Doesn't allow Hysterics to get the opening frag that time. Was ready. Good trigger. Quick on the draw, and it does give Elevate the slight advantage. How they want to play it from here, though, with 2 minutes left, we'll have to wait and see whether they want to try and look to capitalize, be aggressive, try and get a flank, go for a pinch, or maybe this time, guys, they'll decide to actually sit on site.
Yeah, I don't want to rag on Hysterics too much because obviously he's going 14-5, which is absolutely insane, but fully sending it solo down main stairs so early, bit of an iffy play, especially if you didn't have the intel required. It didn't look like he did, but hey, either way, it's up to the Giants now to try and adapt, but my word, they're going to have to adapt pretty hard, pretty quick, as God Legion finds another one, and that's Speakeasy, so that's the 2 big fraggers, typically, for the Giants that have been slain. And there we go, make it a 3rd. Why not? Elevate just piling on the pain here, making it ever more difficult for the Giants to close out this map.
I think when you're 6-3 up, you can afford to be a bit cheeky there in the case of Hysterics and go for something like that. Because honestly, if he wins that, right, they're on a 5-4 advantage remainder of the round. Elevate start to sweat, they're down match point. So you can kind of see why. But I do agree, probably not the right play. But in saying that, Giants have got enough credits in the bank here. They've got enough separation on Elevate. They can kind of throw this round. And in all honesty, I actually kind of like this because Elevate don't deserve to lose 7-3 in my opinion. I think 7-4, 7-5 is the more realistic margin for what has transpired in this match. So they get one back here, I guess. One of the matches, so one of the rounds they let slip earlier, guys, they get one back here. They get a freebie.
Giants now working down main stairs. Worthy His position compromised, lines up the C4 over the reinforcement, and it hits the mark. Very nice work there, and now it's U0 left to try and prevent the flawless round. Finds the first, there's a second in the smoke, and not sure whether or not that was the player that secured the kill, but Elevate nonetheless will secure the round and hold on for a little bit longer. What was that reaction time, Digital? Are you a 50-year-old man? What was that?
Oh, no.
That was
can't
terrible.
Be what that can't be what he saw, right?
Probably not. Probably not. But hey, we'll rag on him for
be.
it. Nah, that's exactly what he saw, Zenox. I don't know what you're about.
No, shush. 6-4. You let that one slide for Giants. That's fine. Give Elevate a freebie. They earned it, to be honest. Elevate have been fun to watch, but Giants are the Giants for a reason, and they're going to close it out here on Gym Bedroom.
Or
I think they'll even do it emphatically. Well, I think they will. And you know what that would mean too as well, guys? I haven't brought it up yet, but I will do so now. But this would also mean Owen for 3 for Manic for the night. Yeah, he would be Owen.
Yeah, that would be... That's a shame, and I think that would also put me first in the predictions, which... Look, we all expected that result on the end of the season. Yeah, look, I am...
No surprise.
I'm 6 head. Just absolutely massive. Don't know how I get my head in frame. It's just that little bit of knowledge. No, I'm just talking absolute rubbish. I know nothing about this game, but look, I still know more than Manic apparently. And so far, this map, the result, representative of what most of the casters expect the Giants. They have that pedigree, they have that experience, and we're expecting them to only improve more and find their form as the stage progresses. And they'll step up to the plate. They know what the expectation is for them this season. They said it themselves. They want to finish first. But maybe that's not really in their hands as much as they would have liked off the back of a little bit of a rocky start. But they can only do what they can do. Winning this round will be one step closer towards achievement.
Just trying to think. We've casted 2 of Giants' matches. I think you've actually done all of them. 3. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I cast them every single match this stage.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a Giants fan, what can I say?
I'd have to say Hysterics has been the standout this stage from Giants.
Yep. Big fragger. Speakeasy as well normally is, but having a little bit of a quieter one, but you can't be expected. Oh, I take that back. Fast. Gets sent to the grave. That could be his final round played here on Clubhouse. Ooh, and that's an awkward kill as well. Opens up CC for the Giants, and that could prove to be a critical pick.
So you can see the structural difference between the two teams. For Elevate, they've got 1 top red, 1 cash. They'll put, you assume, a bit more pressure onto CCTV. Whereas Giants were more than happy to just give it up. More than happy to just let Jordan, literally by this point, had already ran back over to Gym Bedroom. So the difference and the play style, not just between these two teams, guys, but it's between the 2 regions from what we're used to seeing.
Worthy. Getting aggressive with the 9mm in hand. Pre-fires the breach, but forced to fall back as the flash gets sent in. But the forced vault almost nets him a kill, but doesn't quite inflict enough damage off screen. Speakeasy finds yet another. And now it's really up to Worthy and Fisher to try and hold the fort. But this is going to be very, very tough.
There's just too many angles, and obviously those nades trying to take out the shield, just getting sort of
Speakeasy.
Quite a bit of free damage in as well. This is Speakeasy's round, just to clean up his KDA because he was a bit quiet to start this one off. Worthy's so low. Fisher guy will be able to at least get 1. Pushing on into Cash, he's just taken quite low. But if he wins it here, and he does, nice little shot. That's a double, and now we're at a 3 versus 2. But the problem is Worthy and Fisher guy have a combined health of about nothing.
2 bullets is enough for the Giants to close out this map. They're sitting outside the balcony hoping that these players cross. Fisho forced to cross, and there we go. Gets caught at the window. And now Worthy's left in the 1 versus 3.
Look, if he was full health, if he was in an unknown position, I'd say there's a chance, but all of those circumstances are out the window here for Worthy. At best, he maybe denies plant, but that's not going to happen. Luna will get the final kill of this matchup. A matchup that's gone the way of Giants. 7-4 on Clubhouse. They get their first regular win of the season. All 3 points claimed and in the bank. And the Giants of APAC are no longer asleep.
It was a convincing win in the end for the Giants. Props to Elevate. They put up a really good fight, and I would argue that 7-4 probably not fully representative of how close this fight really was. But the Giants, they're just too good in the end. Hysterics. 14-5, going huge here on Clubhouse, and of course the rest of the team alongside to support, and even Luna. Let's give a quick shout out to him on the support role as well. They target banned him with the Monty, but he still stepped up playing the hard breach, and it all just worked like one big cog wheel for the Giants. A well-oiled cog wheel at that. I don't know where I'm going with this, but a well-oiled machine is probably what I should be saying.
Yes,
There we
that's
go.
the one you're looking for.
We got it
guys.
over the line, just like the Giants did.
You got it there in the end. Convincing win for the Giants because Elevate really did give them, a real battle, at least in that first half. There were times where it was going back and forth. A couple of rounds that Elevate probably should have won, and they kind of threw away themselves. So it goes without saying that Giants didn't just sort of beat a nobody team here. The scoreline is a really good scoreline for Giants. 7-4, convincing win on Clubhouse as well against Elevate. I think that they should be more than happy with that, and it really highlights where they're back now. They're back in the top 3.
Yeah, and I think there's a real opportunity for the Giants to keep this momentum rolling. They have 7th Heaven next week. The Knights after that could be a bit of a challenger, a bit of a roadblock. So the road ahead for the Giants is looking good, but as Gig said last week, they are still not a fan of the fact that their fate ultimately is not in their hands. They are still hoping that the likes of Xavier up the top falter to open up that first position.
Not just Xavier, but also Knights to a degree. Knights technically undefeated as well. So still a bit of work to do for Giants, but they are looking much, much better as the season goes on. And speaking of going on, unfortunately, we got to go back to those other guys on the desk.
Thank you very much, Xenox, for that warm welcome. It was a close game, but wait a second. I thought his name was Manic Monday, but the overlay says his name is 0-3. You got anything to say for yourself there?
You know what? I went big and bold tonight, and well, you know what? That is the last time that I go big and bold. That's all I'm going to say. Elevate, I'm disappointed in you. Order, I'm disappointed in you. 7th Heaven, I'm so disappointed in you. That's all I've got to say.
Well, thankfully the 0-4 is still on the cards, but let's just talk about Giants Elevate for a minute there.
Yeah.
I feel like that was definitely a game that just had tiny narrow margins that meant it was a Giants victory, Raven.
Oh, absolutely. I think, as Guz was alluding to, I feel like the scoreline in the end was a really good scoreline for Giants, and it felt like Elevate were putting up a really good fight. Some of those rounds were super close. Looking back in round history as well, there was round 3, Gym Bedroom, where Hysterics got that 1v4 clutch. Some of those rounds, if they had just gone Elevate's way, simple mistakes, they can change the tide of a game. We could have been looking at an OT mammoth battle. But, Giants, they were the ones that tightened it up. They capitalized on those mistakes, and here they are with the victory.
It certainly was, and it ended up being quite a dominant scoreline for the not-so-sleeping Giants. Let's go and have a chat to Gig, their coach, and see what he has to say. Gig, welcome, and congratulations on getting back in the game and taking the 3 points, mate. Feeling pretty good about that one?
Thanks, yeah. Nice to win, yeah. Been a while. Bit of a weird game, though, to be honest. It was really a game of who made the least mistakes. We had some really clean rounds, but a lot of the rounds were pretty close down to the wire, and yeah, could have gone either ways, but they came out in favour of us. We had a lot of these last season, close rounds where we just get some insane clutches, but not really many, but I think that shows the power we've got in the team. We could make those plays and win rounds we probably shouldn't win.
Right. Could you elaborate a little bit on that? What do you mean by little mistakes? Was this from your side as well, individual plays that were being enabled due to the opponents not punishing?
Well, when we knew we were going to play club, we looked at how they play it. We were pretty confident and had a game plan all around. And for example, the first basement round, we completely aren't under any pressure. They're taking the time. We knew they were very slow with the clear and the attack, so it was really just us to make sure we didn't do anything and we were ready for the execute. But then first basement round, we then go and give away 2 picks completely, and that's just one of them rounds where we didn't need to do that, and ultimately we ended up losing the round because of mistakes like that. There's a few others through that game, but I think we grew into the game and got more and more confident as it went on and improved as the game went on as well.
Yeah, like, I think it's a great point you bring up about those mistakes. But something you guys definitely did intentionally was that Jaeger ban at the start. Something we talked about a little bit. Would love to hear some insight about the Jaeger ban and really what that was trying to do with this match.
Yeah, it's something we've practiced a few times. Never used it in a proper game, but when we see the opposition are reliant on Jaeger 1 setup still, banning Jaeger 1 is pretty standard ban, to be honest. So yeah, I don't really think it hurt them too much, but anything to ruin their setup and break how they want to play is a good ban.
Very quickly, we've only seen you play Clubhouse once in the last 9 months in an official. Was there any particular reason why you're headed to Clubhouse? I think Elevate's 5-0 on that, now 5-1, giving them their first loss.
Not really. We aren't really too bothered about how good they have a team on this map. You know, we always know between 2 maps what we're going to play against any opposition because you know, we study them, we understand them quite a lot, and ultimately we've looked at our Clubhouse, we were confident against it. It's not like we've not played an official game in a while. It's not like we've not played it. It's not like it's not one of our better maps. Even before we played it, we only stopped playing it actually because the team started banning it against us because we were so dominant on it. So it's not like we're bad at it. We are good at it, and yeah, we're confident against them. We ended up playing it, and should have been an easier game, I think. But yeah, like I said, already we were the mistakes. We let it slip from us a bit, but yeah, easy game for us really.
Like to hear it. It's definitely looking good for you guys after today's win. 3 points on the board, much needed after the start to the season has been a bit rocky. But looking forward, you guys are playing against Q-Confirm next week. Always been a local rival of you guys way back into the Southeast Asian Pro League days. And last stage, you guys only barely beat them on Theme Park 8-7. Do you think they're going to be a challenge? And what are the hurdles that you think still need to be overcome for this season?
Yeah, we've got a tough week next week playing 7th from Q-Confirm. Obviously, it's 2 more teams that we're used to, but on the same page as that, they're used to us as well. So it'll be interesting. I think this will really make or break our season. We need to take maximum points, and yeah, we're used to them. They're used to us. So really, every time we play them, it's really just who performs better on their day. We'll approach the game knowing how we want to play against them, and it's really just who shows up at that point.
Well, best of luck in that game, and congratulations once again on your first 3-point victory. See you later.
Thanks, guys.
Well, there you have it. Pretty confident at the end there. He was saying overall a pretty easy game for us. Bit of a difference from what we were thinking. We were thinking it was pretty close, but in the end, there were moments where it did look easy when Hysterics is going around getting 14 kills. So
Man, Hysterics has this knack of somehow making it look easy when it's totally not.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was a game of a lot of mistakes as well. I think that was a great point that he made, is that both teams were making a lot of mistakes. It was a slightly messy game in some instances, but then there were also instances where I know we were chatting as the match was going on. There was some fantastic team play as well. So it was a bit of a funny match in that way. Ultimately, you know, as we were saying, the Giants, they made slightly less mistakes. They also capitalized on those mistakes that Elevate made.
I feel like if Elevate had have been able to play better on their defense, obviously their attack was, I think it speaks for itself. I definitely think if they'd tied it up on their defense, that easy game would have been a little less easy for them. But, you know, you do have to look at a player like Hysterics and just go like, what? What are you doing? You're making this look like a gold lobby. Like, just unbelievable.
Well, all in all, a great win, much needed for Giants. They were the favourite team coming into this season. They're doing well so far. Next week, they're going to be playing Q-Confirm, but Q-Confirm are playing right now against their Thai brethren of Xavier. That is going to be a massive match. You don't want to miss it, so stick around.